Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Buyer's Remorse with Darren and Justin.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Justin.
I'm Darren.
Here on Buyer's Remorse, we find games that are in each other's libraries that are untouched or unplayed, and we have that person play the game they purchased for 60 minutes to tell us if it is a wonderful buyer's confirmation or a dreaded buyer's remorse. What game did I have you play?
The Telltale Batman game.
Yeah, I think it's just because I'm curious what you'd think about it.
Have you played it?
No, but I've heard good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which just kind of annoys me. It's probably good. Tell us about Telltale Batman.
All right, so obviously Telltale reopened their doors somehow. They got their act together and they managed to open up because for the longest time Telltale was off of Steam. You couldn't buy anything, or you could only buy like parts of the Walking Dead games, but everything else was gone. There's still a big chunk of their catalogue missing. Some legal nonsense that I don't know anything about. This is $15-ish on Steam. It's overwhelmingly positive. It came out in 2016. And so, yeah, I did my usual. My dry run test for these stupid games is let it run for without pressing any buttons to see if choices actually do matter. And lo and behold, man, they do. It's like this game, I can see why people like this game. Because it's like the old school Telltale games, like the old school, like Back to the Future, Sam and Max Telltale games. It's like, it's not just watching a dialogue and then choosing, oh, I'll say this. Oh, everybody hates me now. Oh, I'll say this. Oh, everybody hates me even more now. You get to walk around. You get to interact with things. You got to click on things. You have to solve kind of not. I wouldn't go really that far to say complex puzzles, but little puzzles. There are definite splits in the story where it could go one way or another. And so, yeah, it's more of a game than most of the other Telltale games.
How would you put it against Wolf Among Us?
Not better than, but close. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say it's up there. Definitely way better than the Walking Dead games. Way better than Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is at the bottom anyway. Even better than Tales from the Borderlands, which you can run that game. You can just watch Tales of the Borderlands run itself for at least 30 minutes uninterrupted without pushing a single prompt, and you will not die, and the story will keep going, even though it's like, oh, you better press this quickly. No. But in this, I did the same thing. I was just like, just see that. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, if you don't do any of the combat prompts, there are definitely some parts where it will just, okay, we're just doing it, go for it. But there's definite moments where you will get shot by one of the gang members, or you'll fall off a ledge or whatever, you'll die. Lots and lots of lose conditions in this game.
This is a first-person game, though, right?
No. It's third person. It's you can see your character walking around. I know there is a Batman VR game. I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm confusing the two then.
Yeah, there's definitely another Batman VR, which I've heard good things about as well. But no, this is just a regular Telltale third person.
Okay, yeah, then it's possible I've just put the two together in my head.
Because let's face it, there's no shortage of Batman games on Steam. So you get to do some detective work that's kind of it's a lot like the Arkham Knight series, where you've got like a camera and you have to connect evidence and you've got to find out what happened at the scene of the crime kind of thing. So
sort of hidden object?
Kind of, yeah. It's like you walk around and then you'll see something and like, and you'll examine like, the bullet came in here, and so you'll have to find where was the sniper nest, and so you'll go there, and then you basically click on the bullet wound and you click on the place where you think the sniper was, and then you draw a line between them, And then if it matches, then you move on to the next part of the puzzle, and you just piece together the crime scene. And then once you've done that, you get like a little cutscene, all like done in holograms, because obviously everyone's dead now, but it's like it rewinds back in time, and you build a picture of what happened there. This is pretty cool. It's not bad.
Are the clues highlighted in some way?
They're pretty much highlighted. Yeah, there's like, oh, go and look at this. There'll be like a little square or something like that, and yeah, everything that you can interact with is highlighted. Otherwise, I'm in a mixed camp with that. It depends what kind of game it is. I'm not all about highlighting everything that you can interact with. I don't really agree with that. But in a game like this, where your movement is quite slow anyway, it's like I don't want to be walking around clicking on everything. But luckily, you can only interact with the things that are highlighted in this game anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like a walking sim where you're walking around opening thousands of drawers to find a bit of paper. The detective stuff is pretty cool. And then another thing they've got is like, rather than, because they're probably thinking, well, it's a Batman game, we need action, but we can't really do action. We can't have like real-time action.
Is it quick-time events like Wolf Among Us?
Kind of, but what they've done is they've done it in a different way. What they've done is they've said, okay, here's the run. There's a guard here, there's a guard there, there's a guard there. He's got an M16, he's got an Uzi. What are you going to do? And so you'll plan your attack in stages. Like, I'll do this, and then I'll go around that pillar, and then I'll shoot out the chandelier, and it'll fall down on that guy, and then I'll get up on this. And so you plan out your whole thing. You think about how you're going to... It's like a puzzle. So it's like you think about the whole run, and then when you're ready, you're like, okay, begin, and then you go through it, and then you just sit back and watch it. I think there might be some quick time events in that as well, where the guards will react, and if you don't swipe left or right or whatever, then you might get shot. But it's basically following the path that you've set out.
I kind of like that. That is a lot of times how I'd play the stealth parts of the Arkham games.
Right, yeah. And so... Yeah, so that it's got two things going for it.
I mean, I would be playing it out, obviously,
right,
but plan ahead, scout the room, plan ahead, this is what I'm going to do, and then make a mistake and have to start that part over again or make a new plan.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I like that from the original, like the Arkham games, where you just basically perch up on one of those statues and you watch them and you're like, okay, what's their route, and like, okay, I can get that guy over there, right, I'll do that. Yeah, so it's a little bit like that. So it's like, the game's got some different kind of cool stuff going for it that's not just like, let's watch the developers play the game how they wanted to play it, where choices don't matter, and it's just me watching a dialogue play out. This is more of a game.
Okay. There's also, I mean, where we got into what we felt was kind of the worst of Telltale was they just give you two rotten choices.
Right.
And what you miss out on is having the interaction with this other character, but neither one is really desirable. So you're not really missing out on much. And some of the QuickTime events were pretty awful.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah, I hate that about Telltale games. Like, choice A, be an asshole. Choice B, be an even bigger asshole. Like, thanks, guys.
Yeah, to me it's more like, which person do you want to offend?
Yeah.
Because I think, was it the second game?
The Walking Dead ones?
Yeah, where you have to choose between who you're going to sit with at lunch or something. And like,
Kenny will remember that.
Yeah. You're choosing who you want to be friends with. You're going to lose the other person. I get it. Sometimes there is no good choice, but that game felt like there were always just two bad choices.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
the QuickTime events in that one were bad. That's why I never made it beyond the second one. What characters do you get to see in this one?
Good point. This game is centered around Penguin, Two-Face, and Two-Face is pre-Two-Faced, so he's like a lawyer. Harvey Dent, that's the guy. He hasn't become, as far as my playthrough, he hasn't become Two-Face yet, but he's getting there. He's cracking, and that's it. There's no Joker in this one, as far as I know yet. So there is another Telltale game that I think has the Joker in it, and it's called the Enemy Within. That's maybe the next one after this, I think.
Okay.
Because this one was pretty successful. Catwoman's in this one, so it's Catwoman, Harvey Dent, Penguin,
Alfred?
Alfred's in it. Yep.
Robin?
Robin's not in it. No.
Okay.
No. But yeah, it's like...
Did you finish the game?
No, but I did go back. I have gone back. I haven't finished it yet. I kind of went back. I was playing it for a while, then I got sidetracked.
Is this the typical 5-chapter game?
Yes, yeah. It's like it looks like it's going to shape up to be another 5-chapter one. I think I'm on like chapter 3 now, I think. I'll tell a lie. Joker is in it, but he's not a main character. Well, I mean, maybe he's going to become one later on then, because I haven't finished it. But he is in it. He's in Arkham Asylum, so I'm guessing he's gonna.
Yeah, that seems to be pretty standard. We have to at least show him in the game somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, who is the bad guy though? It's a character that I've never seen before. I don't know if I can spoilers, right? So it's like I don't want to say anything about it because it's kind of
okay.
Right,
we can talk about it after.
I just deleted a big bunch of spoilers there because even though this is just for a bit of fun, I don't want to give away that part of the game because I think that is kind of important. But I think
it must be something you enjoyed as well, otherwise you wouldn't care.
Yeah. There is a bad guy in the game. And it's not a character that I know. I've never seen them before. But they use a lot of gadgets and stuff, and they're pretty powerful. Yeah, it's interesting. So the story's there. Alfred's pretty good.
How's the voice work?
Voice work is good. Yeah, I don't know who does the voice for Batman, but it's not the Batman from the cartoon. It's
or
not.
the Arkham games.
Or maybe no, I don't know.
No, that was the same. Kevin
the same guy.
Kevin Conroy did.
Oh, he did the Arkham games,
the animated series, and he did the Arkham games. That's part of why I loved them, especially when Arkham Asylum came out, because he did that. Yeah,
I know this name. It was so the guy that does Batman in this one is Troy Baker. He was Joel in The Last of Us as well. That's where I know him from. It's the guy that did the voice of Joel from Last of Us, and probably a bunch of other things, but that's what he's probably most famous for. But yeah, so the voice work is solid, and yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with it. I see the big sad face on Justin across the table.
Yeah, I was hoping to get you at this one, but at the same time, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Have you got this?
I don't think so.
I think you should look out for it on a sale, man. I think if you can pick it up for $5, give it a shot.
I love Batman games, so I probably will now.
Yeah.
I think, again, I probably had it confused with the VR game, and thus thought I just couldn't play it.
Right.
And also, we had our run on Telltale, and
a bad run. Pretty spectacularly bad run.
It started off well, and then it kind of got worse as it went along. It's kind of like our current feeling about Wales Interactive, where we love the early stuff, but the further it goes, the more we're not sure about them.
Yeah,
that's great. It sounds it's great as far as it's a good game, and I'm glad you had a good time. Just not great for me getting you on a on a rough game. So you've already gone back. Are you planning to finish it?
I'll definitely finish it, yeah. Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not taxing. It's an easy enough game to play. I think you can get through one chapter in about, it's the usual Telltale, one chapter is about 1 hour, maybe an hour and 10, 15 minutes. So it'll take you 5 or 6 hours to finish the game.
So you'd probably estimate $5 would be the...
I think $5 would be, and I think that's probably what I got it for, to be honest.
You'd recommend it to me. Would you recommend it to anyone? Like, who would you recommend it to?
Definitely, like you said, Batman fans, but even if you're not a Batman fan, if you're a fan of Telltale games, this is one of the better ones. Like I think people will, this would be, if you said, tell me 3 good Telltale games that I should play, this would probably be one of the top ones that they would recommend to you. They would probably say Batman, Wolf Among Us, and maybe the first Walking Dead game.
Not Back to the Future?
Or Back to the Future, you can't buy it anymore.
Yeah, but it can be found.
It can be found, yes. Back to the Future is great. I really like Back to the Future. That's an awesome game. If you can find it, then Back to the Future for sure. But yeah, so fans of Telltale games anyway, fans of Batman, and I don't know, just if you want to play something like cinematic and story-driven, then yeah, why not?
What 3 tags would you give it?
believe it or not, choices matter. Yeah, actual choices do matter. Choices matter. Comic book. It definitely needs a comic book tag. And yes, story driven. Yeah, a story driven comic book choices matter game.
I already know the answer, but I've got to ask. Is this a buyer's confirmation or a dreaded buyer's remorse?
It's confirmation, man. Thank you for suggesting this one.
Got to be nice once in a while.